One of the most important jobs we have as artists is taking good quality photographs of the things that we make. After all, who wants to spend hours and hours creating something that you're proud of and then taking a blurry or crooked photograph of it? It doesn't matter if you're using that photograph to upload to Instagram, to email to your grandmother who lives out in California, or to upload to Google Classroom so a teacher can use it for an assessment. What really matters is that you care about your artwork and you take the time to photograph it well. Here's a few tips to help you along the way. I'm going to start off by going into my photo app, and you'll see that I have my artwork laying flat on the table. I like to have it flat because it minimizes how much warping or distorting of the image that I get, especially if my camera isn't perfectly level. One thing you really want to avoid is taking a picture of your artwork coming at it from some crazy viewpoint. I suggest that you have your photograph being taken as level and as straight as you possibly can. Every now and then, if it's not in focus, you could tap the screen. Otherwise, I will go ahead and photograph it. Try one more time. I like to do at least 2 or 3. So when I click on the thumbnail, I have a couple of them to choose from. This one looks like it will work just fine. So I'm going to go to Edit. Once I'm in Edit, I'm going to do the Adjust and the Crop button here. The one with the 2 right angles. And I'm going to just crop in my edges, essentially trimming off the tiny little bit of edge in the photograph. So all I see in my frame is the artwork itself. Let's take some photographs of the sculpture that I have sitting here on my studio workbench. You'll notice that my lighting is decent. I have an old cutting board that I've propped up against the back of my laptop, and that's going to be the first thing I use so it's not distracting from my paintbrushes or a bag of Takis or a soda bottle or whatever you have laying around at your house. I'm going to go ahead and go on my phone, go into the camera app, just like I was taking a photograph of a flat image. This time though, I'm being very careful not to get any of that background in there. I want to get just the sculpture itself. And depending on which angle I do that at, it really does change how the photograph ends up. So if I do it like this, you can see my computer in the background. If I turn it this direction, it's looking a little bit better. If I bring the sculpture closer to the background, it makes it a little bit cleaner. I'm going to go ahead, get a nice straight view, and take my photo. I'm going to turn it. This is a 3-dimensional project, so I want to make sure I'm getting pictures of all of the different angles that I think are interesting. When you're doing detail photographs of an artwork, it is okay to get closer. Make sure you're tapping on the screen so you can get something that is more in focus. You wouldn't want to have images of your sculpture that were really blurry. That's not going to represent your hard work very well. Now, another option would be to change the setting completely. You could take your sculpture outside and photograph it in the grass if that was fitting for your sculpture. You could also take an old sheet for a bed or a pillowcase, or have a hand towel that's just been hanging out in my studio for the last few days for some odd reason. I'm going to drape it over the back of my computer, put that on here. And now the whole background, including the table that it's on, is going to be in view. I'm going to go ahead and get it set to where I want it and photograph.